This is going to be my last video ever discussing Project Slayers, because now I have my own different game I can play now. And probably my last one on Roblox, considering I was banned for something that I honestly kind of deserve. But I was stupid and wanted to do some stupid shit, but now I feel like I actually kind of deserved it. So anyway, this is my last video on Project Slayers. Maybe until the second game comes out, my ult stop getting banned. However, this is something I need to discuss with just the Project Slayers community and just like the whole thing about Project Slayers 2. And yeah, Project Slayers 2 has succumbed to apparently being released in 2026 now, early to mid 2026, which I feel like is unreasonable considering that would leave us without content for a whole fucking 3 years. And I feel like that's just like, I'm not gonna play the game at that point if it takes fucking 2 years to develop. 2 years to develop just for 3 years of just something of content. That's just unreasonable. Now, I'm getting this from Knull, which is not the most trustable source in the community. So if this is wrong, then I'm just gonna go back on this part. But Knull is not too trustable considering from his lies about some parts of the staff, but he does generally say some truth about the staff in general, and that's gonna be my next point. The staff is by far one of the worst parts of the Project Slayers community. You have staff banning people for beating them in a 1v1. I'm not kidding. I have friends who have had to 1v1 the staff, and just so they don't get banned, they just die. Like they intentionally lose the 1v1 so they don't get banned. That is hilarious to me, as the staff cannot, some of the staff, not all of them, there are some good parts of the staff, but some of the staff cannot handle dying in a 1v1, which is, it just kind of goes crazy to me. And the second biggest thing I have to talk about with this PvP system, and I think Knull actually had some inspiration for my video, and if I'm not, I could be wrong on that. So Knull, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I know he watches my videos sometimes, so I'm sorry if I got this wrong, but I think he took some inspiration from my PvP video talking about how Project Slayers 2 was going to be bad. Now, if this was wrong, Knull, please correct me in the comments. However, the PvP system is by far going to be the worst part about Project Slayers 2 when it does eventually release. So, Project Slayers 1 has stun-based or just, yeah, stun-based combos and stun-based PvP, which is what games like The Strongest Battlegrounds have, and you see how big those games got, but what's changing is it's going to turn into like a more dodge-based or block-based PvP game, which is pretty much just like a worse system considering Project Slayers 1 has already had one of the biggest PvP communities, and it's the reason why it's been able to stay alive for the past 2 years. It's the reason why people have been playing the game past 2024. So I don't understand why you had to change the entire system, and I feel like this little comment right here explains exactly my point on why they had no reason at all to change the PvP system, because I'm pretty sure everybody liked the system except people who like playing Deep Woken, which people voted for the parry system, but I don't. Why would you want Project Slayers to play like Deep Woken? I don't know. Not to mention there are hackers, exploiters. It's just a horrible experience compared to what it used to be. You used to be able to have a fun 1v1 with players, and now it's just whoever can spam the most with OP BDA. And I don't want to get into the gameplay right now because that's not the main focus of this. However, the game just was so good, and now it's literally one of the worst examples of mistreatment by the developers in just like the worst way possible. I don't know what to say. So this is, like I said, my last Project Slayers video until Project Slayers 2 comes out, which is gonna be like 2 years from now. Oh god, I cannot believe this. Testers, according to Knull's video, are saying it's not gonna get released till 2026, which I find funny considering some people thought this was gonna be. He literally said, "Ooh, said this is gonna be released in 2025," according to that little announcement. And if this is not true, nobody's playing Project Slayers. You don't understand this. By the time, if Project Slayers is not released in 2025, nobody's playing Project Slayers. Everyone's just gonna give up. Which a lot of people are just saying, if this shit does not release in 2025, we are automatically just not giving a fuck anymore. We're not playing this shit. And I honestly understand. Mugen's probably gonna be released by then, and Mugen's not even that good of a game in my opinion. I don't like the combat system, but Mugen, fucking Hinokami's probably gonna get fucking released by then. Royalties, all that kind of good shit. So Project Slayer is gonna be left in the dust, and it's just gonna stay there. It's just kind of like the sad truth, which is, it's just sad because I love Project Slayer. It's probably my favorite Roblox game ever made, and just seeing it go from this high to this fucking upsetting low, it's just kind of pissing me off. Another problem with Project Slayer is now the miscommunication by the developers. OP was talking about, I'll be back soon after a 2-month hiatus, and we haven't gotten a single sneak peek beside like a little bit of a thunder, not even a clip, like a little screenshot right here, some facial accessories. That's all we've gotten. In the past 5 months, that is all we've gotten. Remember, guys, it has been a year since Project Slayer 2 was announced. A year and 4 months, actually. And the last actual sneak or like showcase we got was back in November of 2024. Guys, it's May of 2025, and we haven't gotten shit since then. Now, I understand he was talking about, what was in it in these announcements? We're cooking the last nieces in many Demon Slayer games in dev. We don't want to snatch their ideas. Dude, no one's trying to snatch your fucking ideas because they're all trying to make their own shit. Hinokami's trying to make their own shit. Mugen's trying to make their own shit. It's just, I feel like that's just an excuse to make so like he doesn't have any sneaks ready. And the work thing right here, sure, it could be accurate, and I could be wrong about this entire thing, but it seems like Project Slayer is now just abandoned, or not abandoned, it's just very much of a side project compared to DX, and I know it's already a side project. However, DX has system. It looks like it's closer to finish than Project Slayer 2, and that's understandable considering it was in development first. But Goku Showcase will be soon. December 26th, 2024. I don't have to say the date again, do I? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Now, I understand this is not entirely to the fault of the developers and OP, just considering, school, yeah, he's in schooling, I understand all that. But it's one thing to just lie, and then it's another thing to lie with a good reason, and then just lie and don't have a good reason is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to word this, considering this is not entirely due to OP's fault and the developers, because they're still in school. So you have to understand he's still in schooling, and that is perfectly acceptable why the game's not released yet. But lying to your fans is just a whole new type of low. And apparently what's really funny is one of the main clan leaders of Project Slayers, there's these things called clans and Project Slayers. Basically they just symbolize like a part of a group and like you do PvP and all that. Nothing really much to talk about there. But the main owner of one of these groups was asked to like host a tournament for Project Slayers 2, and he even admitted he didn't like the new Project Slayers 2 PvP system, which is so funny to me. Oh god, it's perfect, guys, it's perfect. Not only have you made the PvP so worse, even most of the community, in your main thing you're trying to get to host a tournament, they think it's bad, bro. God, it's so sad. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Project Slayers 2 is gonna be either a good release, if it releases in 2025, it's gonna be a very popular game, but I swear, if this releases in 2026, people are gonna fucking not care about this shit anymore. It's gonna be left aside like Team Fortress 2, it's just gonna be thrown away. More thrown away than Slayer's Battlegrounds. It's gonna be not playable. Nobody's gonna want to play it. Everyone's gonna be playing GTA 6 at a certain point, which is kind of funny considering people are talking about how it's gonna be released mid 2026. So it's still releasing after GTA 6, even after it got fucking delayed. So yeah, if I am wrong on this whole release date thing, that's my fault. But this is just something I need to get out there before people start acting like Project Slayers 2 is in sort of this good state, or Project Slayers in this good state, when it's not. It is in the worst state it has ever been in, and just like the whole games on like OP's games are in like the worst state possible. because we don't have no knowledge of what's going on. Anyway, wrap this up. Flame best breathing. I don't know why I'm saying that now considering my last video. So yeah, go play Flame. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm not the best flame player. I was never, and I stopped playing Project Slayers back in like March. But this is the last video. Anyway, see you guys.